Let's try to get some windows open. Welcome, everyone. Try to get some sunshine here. All right. Welcome to those that are here. Trying to see, do I want to plug that light in? Probably not. Oh, don't break stuff. Let's not break stuff. How about that? Okay. All right. I'm trying to get some natural light in here. Could use this light, but welcome. Welcome, everyone. Okay. Okay. Get myself all warm here. Welcome, 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 everyone. There we go. That lightens it up. That way I don't have to use this fake light that comes with the phone stand. Grateful to have it and everything, but natural light, you can't get any better than natural light. So just gonna wait a few moments for others to drop in, and then we will get started. So how is everyone doing? Good morning. How's everyone feeling? I had a very, very rough night last night. Very rough night. A very rough morning this morning. And, this is something that these experiences that I'm having on a physical level, I have not had in years. So I'm really curious to discover. Try to get some natural light in here. I'm really curious to discover, what's taking place. And this is something, you guys have heard me, speak about this, and especially in my group space, you've heard me speak about it over the last few days to a week in relation to experiencing certain sensations. So, now for me, what I'm receiving in relation to what I experienced. So, okay, I've been having a lot of head pressure or headaches. And I've been having, yesterday I felt just, it was like the right side, my vagus nerve, the right side, the masculine has been pinched, and I've been opening it up. I've been going through the activated states. I've been bringing everything through. I've been applying everything, and I'm still experiencing that. Well, yesterday evening, I was fine yesterday evening, it began to pinch even more. I got just a horrendous migraine. It was so intense. It was like wearing a halo of intense discomfort. And it was just going all around my skull. My skull felt like it was going to just crack open. There was so much pressure. And the nausea, the waves of nausea were so intense. It was like it reminded me of when you would get like food poisoning or a stomach virus, but it wasn't a virus, right? I don't connect into energies that way. So what I was asking is, I was like, okay, what is this? Where is this coming from? I heard vagus nerve, that my body's undergoing a process of reconstruction, that the discomfort before it became overwhelming was a part of the process. But I was overloading my system yesterday I do this, I do these raw juices, and instead of allowing my body to move through and energetically just balance itself out, I was also eating, which I ate tofu. I mean, I didn't eat anything bad, if you will. It wasn't a lower vibrational meal, but that with the juices, my system was working through a process. So I just added vibrationally, I added too much to my system. So I'm not saying what I ate made me sick, because I wasn't sick, but the vibration of my being is undergoing reconstruction. But I will say that this nausea and this head pressure has been almost a daily thing. And I know it's a test. And I've been hearing other people talk about the equilibrium, Louise. So I'm not surprised with that. There's been, and I feel this is, a part of the shift that's taking place on a microcosmic level. The equilibrium is definitely going to kick in, or it's going to be off. But like what you're talking about, Mina, not feeling so well. Yeah, it's been very interesting for me. It's been a challenge because I'm not used to it, which means it's a test. Everything is always a test. And I can tell that even more so now that it's a test, because every time, like last night when those waves were really, really, really intense, I could have chosen to believe that I had gotten sick from something I ate. And that's what our thoughts are. They're forms, they're energy that form in a bundle, and they're really meant to be just energy that moves through with words attached, right? But if we pull them in and we believe them, then that becomes our projected reality. So as these waves of energy were moving through, the system, what the mental system is used to, from past loops of moving through this, is, oh, you've got food poisoning, or maybe you picked up a bacteria, or maybe you have this, or maybe you have that, or maybe your gallbladder ruptured, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. That's where if I would have chosen that, I would have pulled further away from myself. But I could see where every single time one of those came forward, it was an opportunity, as it always is. So everything is always a test to see, are we going to go deeper into spirit, or are we going to go further away from spirit? If we go deeper into spirit, then we allow it to move through. I did my absolute best to pull my power back in. And I can feel where, when this began, I chose to lay down, and I should have chosen to call my power back differently. That was the beginning of the test. And it just ended up getting more and more overpowering the more that time went by, because I didn't stand in my power in direct occurrence in the way that I was aware of. So, because it's interesting, we could always say, well, we don't know it's going to get that bad, right? I didn't know it was going to get that bad. So I didn't, even though I had an opportunity and I could have approached it differently, I didn't know it was going to get that bad. So I didn't know, right? But that's not really what it's about. It's not about needing to know, and it's not about what's going to happen. It's about what can happen. We are the ones that are in control. And this has been a massive test for me, again, because it is not what I'm used to. I have not gone through feeling this way in a long time. And I keep wanting to go, welcome, Greg. I've been wanting to go into, I can feel where I've wanted to go into placing blame on how I feel onto something, like, oh, it's the juices, and oh, it's the food. And even though I did overload my system vibrationally, I know that's not it. I know it's not it, because during Thanksgiving, I really overloaded my system. So even as I was saying what I said about just overloading my system with certain foods, that's impossible. It really is. I mean, we can eat and consume foodstuffs that are not vibrationally supportive, of course. Now, but our system is built to withstand and uphold, and because we've been conditioned to suffer, we must realize that it takes a good bit of overconsumption, if you will, to get us to a point of being severely imbalanced. Because honestly, we come into this incarnation, we're already imbalanced. We're already imbalanced because of the fear core programmings. So as I'm feeling this, and this is not going to be a long live today because I really just want to go into this process. I really just want to go straight into it. So I'm really just going to reflect a few things here, and then I'm going to go directly into it. These sensations have really thrown me for a loop, if you will. It's brought me into a state of, just as soon as I think I understand what's happening, it's comes something different. And that's the nature of this entire existence, is everything is a test and everything is an opportunity. Once we become comfortable in thinking we know everything, in thinking that we have everything, it's meant to be shaken up. We're meant to be consistently moving. But a lot of times our movement is disconnected. It's a lot of times we move in a way that distracts us, disorients us, and disconnects us from ourselves. Now, granted, yes, am I grateful to have had the lessons that I've learned from distractions? Absolutely. Am I grateful to have the lessons that I've learned from the disconnect? Absolutely. But there comes a point where that's you can learn and gain a lesson, and you can be taught without needing to suffer. And that's the keynote that's really ringing hard for me, is you don't have to suffer to learn a lesson. But we're so conditioned through the fear core to need those things. We're so conditioned to need the lessons in that way. We're so conditioned to need the people in that way, that we feel that it's almost like we glamorize it. And I can even feel for myself where that's glamorizing the known. Once one thing has been mastered and once it has been understood, then almost feeling as if I've got it. That's it. Nothing else needs to be done, even though I know it does. But I can feel the slight nuance of where this glamorizing the need of things. And yet, even though we have these knowings, do we choose differently? Do we do differently? Do we allow differently? And that's the key, is allowing. I can even see for me, as this process has come up, I can feel where there was a slight tinge of trying to force myself to understand because I was uncomfortable. And yesterday, it's very interesting. For me, where I'm at right now, if I'm going to speak a truth, and if I'm going to bring that truth through, and I'm going to offer that truth as a lived experience, then I must be prepared to live it. I must be prepared to consistently stand in it. And I must be consistently devoted to being that state of experience and that state of truth. Because if not, if I disconnect myself to any degree now, and I can feel this, I can actually feel where this happened yesterday, where I was in this beautiful state of flow. I was in this beautiful state of experience. And there were all these different moments throughout the day where I could have chosen to go through the doorway of lessons without suffering. But every time a doorway opened and every time I saw it and every time I realized, okay, this is where I need to be, I looked away and I went differently. Another doorway opened, another opportunity. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit more intensely in the discomfort. I'm having some more things in my body that are showing me. Now, yesterday I was doing things, I was attempting to serve. Um, I was working outside. Again, there wasn't any major reactions that happened. There wasn't one major point. There wasn't anything in my environment or in my reality that was reflecting the need for me to do this. But that's the intention. I knew throughout the day my body was speaking to me. My body was asking me to come into what I'm doing right now, not necessarily live, but my body was asking me to come into and just to be with it, to sit and to speak to my body, to connect to my body, to honor my body. And even though the things that I was doing throughout the day yesterday were serving, they were serving a purpose. I was serving to help and I was doing things, but I was also busy. Did I need to do those things? No. And I was even going to bring a live through for my group, and I didn't because I devoted myself to doing something else. Now, what I did, like I said, it still served, but it didn't serve me in the way that was necessary for me to be able to understand what I was moving through. So I say this because this is what normally happens to us throughout an entire day. We have multiple doorways to deepen into self-discovery, self-realization, self-healing, all the things that serve us, which in turn serve the collective. But because we're more concerned with needing to serve the collective or needing to do something for someone or needing to help someone or needing to have this experience or needing to do this thing or this thing or this thing, then we become disconnected and we go into the need to do something. We're busy. Now, the reason why I say disconnected is it's not absolving. It's not denying that people are there. It's not denying the connection that I have with anyone. And it's not denying the connection that I honor with others. It's not denying those that exist in the reality, in the collective, or anything. But if I want to truly be of service to the collective, then I uphold a vibration that can serve. If my vibration is always busy doing things, then that's not really serving, that's disconnecting and distracting. And I understand that this is the trick for everyone on this path of awakening, is to remember that you're in a dream, you're in a simulation. You are a fragment of your soul that is here to experience the dream and that is here to experience waking up. And even though many are waking up to the realization that, yes, there's life out there and we have the cosmic connections and many of us are star seeds and all of those things, we still forget that our purpose is to master the human. It's to master the state of being. It's to master the presence of you in this incarnation. Instead of getting so caught up with the needing to be something else, the needing to help someone else, the needing to show up for other people, because that's secondary. It doesn't mean that you won't, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to. It simply means that the way that you can truly be of service is if you're internally serving the highest within yourself, which means it's a connection, it's a vibration. And I know you all have heard me talk about this and say this so much, but it's so true. We have a chord of consciousness, and in the dream, we are being simulated by the program. We are in this lower dantian of root sacral solar plexus, and we're acting out the characters. We're living the dream. the only way that we truly awaken is when we come into the heart and we begin realizing the connection to consciousness. When we start realizing the connection to ourself, which means we realize ourselves. We're present with ourselves. We are here in this form to understand why. But we, even myself, even we get so caught up with doing other things that we energetically disconnect and go other places. We do other things. And of course, we can observe. We can observe our thoughts. We can observe our feelings. We can observe these things, but we're not truly witnessing as the observer. We're not really witnessing ourselves. That's like if I hear a sound, am I really listening, or am I just hearing it? Right? If I just hear it, I can pick up on the sound, I can pick up on the words, but I'm not really listening. If I'm really listening, just like if I'm really feeling, I am in a space of silence internally. That's where we truly listen. If I want to see something, my eyes are closed, not open. This is another thing. Anytime we try to understand what's happening to us, within us, anytime our eyes are open, our eyes are automatically looking around. This is why you'll see me close my eyes a lot, is because I realize how disconnected I become when my eyes are open. When the eyes are open, they're looking for something. They're wanting to connect to something. Even just reading chat, the eyes will always be wanting to connect to something when they're open. And therefore you automatically have energy going into the eyes and into that state of sensing and seeing, because the eyes are automatically connected to the nervous system, the biofield, and therefore they're trying to pick up on something. And this is how we operate. We operate throughout our day with our eyes open. We say we're open to receive, but we're really partially shut off, because we're trying to find something with our eyes open. We're trying to focus on something. And so there's one point of disconnect just from that. Same with our ears. We can be aware of certain things, but it's still limited, because listening is internal, not external. So all of these things go into a process of deepening into the self. But because we're so consumed with the external, we normally don't take the time and invest the time in the process of self. And that's really what it is a process. The self is a process of waking up, awakening from the dream, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Even your dream state is very similar to your waking state. If you haven't realized that yet, when you go to sleep, the last thought that enters your mind is where you go in a dream. This is why we call it the dream state. And the waking state is still a dream state. It very much is, because everyone is focused on understanding something in the reality, trying to figure something out, trying to understand why this person said what they said, trying to understand why this event happened, trying to figure this out, trying to figure that out. Our dream state is very similar. And this is also why we try to deconstruct dreams. We're trying to figure out something that was not meant to be figured out. It's meant to be woken from. So if we're here to understand our existence, then this must mean that we must go into ourselves without going to sleep. We go into ourselves from a space of silence, a space of connection. Because this is why a lot of times when people are moving through ranges of consciousness, they'll disconnect and they'll go to sleep. They'll kind of go out of it. Because once you reach a certain higher level of consciousness, the vibration of your nervous system isn't used to receiving the higher connection, you'll go out. Your nervous system will need time to reset and reconnect. Therefore, the best way for you to be able to be in a higher state of receiving consciousness while simultaneously being awake is to practice, is to practice. To strengthen the bond that you hold with your cord of consciousness, to strengthen the bond that you hold with your soul, to strengthen the bond that you hold with spirit, to strengthen the bond that you hold with yourself. So I know that the mind is going to want to say, but this means I won't get to do things, right? If I'm supposed to be internal all day, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, I'm inviting that you can still choose to invest you can choose to invest some time and some energy at some point throughout your day to this process of internal realization. And then eventually it does happen. We can be in walking meditation and still realize, but the deepest parts of it happen when the eyes are closed. That's the whole point. That's the whole point, is to disconnect you from the dream, to bring you into a state where you really feel, you really see, you really listen and hear, you really understand. That's where everything is found, is in the darkness. Everything else is merely a simulation. It's your mind's simulation. It's beautiful. I'm not discounting that at all. But I am saying that we can awaken to a greater degree if we give ourselves an opportunity to invest. And I am realizing that every single day when I was implementing the daily activated states, when I was more active in internally investing, it was the most amazing thing. And I can feel where this last month, my monthly cycle kind of knocked me a bit. And instead of regaining a higher path, I kind of laxed a bit. And I didn't fully step back on that path of commitment. I kind of did, but not fully. And I can feel where my body's just screaming at me because of it. It's saying you have a higher state you can be in. My body is telling me this, and it's telling me this every single day. And it's like wanting to cry. I want to cry. It's like my body's been talking to me and I haven't been listening. So let us go into some self-discovery. Let us go to the journey of the body. And as soon as I made that choice, I already began to feel everything loosen. I'm going to reflect that. That was a choice to begin the process. As soon as I anchored in that choice, eyes closed, everything began to open, and I began to meet myself energetically in the choice. So I would invite you all now to close your eyes if you haven't already. And maybe you've got something that's happening within your body. For those of you that still believe in sickness or ailments, I would invite you to let go of that belief. That belief doesn't serve you. You only suffer more. Diseases and sickness and viruses and bacteria, those are fear core programs. They control you if you believe them. If you believe that they exist, they control you, and you will consistently anchor there because that's what you believe is happening. Just like as I was moving through this, I had an opportunity to believe that it was viral. I had an opportunity to believe that it was something I ate. I had an opportunity to believe all of that. I didn't step into it, but boy, was it seductive to just hand that over to a belief and say, oh, I feel this way, so here's this. and just to shift out of the responsibility. I can just feel that. But no, the responsibility is mine. And even now, as I'm speaking, I feel it. It's really intense. It's really intense. So let us stand in our power of I am. Standing in the power of I am, even my body shifted. I was slumped over, my body shifted, my spine went straight. Now I'm in a space of I'm giving myself attention. My body corrected itself because energetically I am placing the control back into myself. I can actually feel that. I can feel that, just that slight shift in movement where I was kind of hunched over to where I'm sitting up straight. So standing in the power of I am. I am the one that is in the power. I am the one that is in the light. And I am the one the one that is in the process of understanding. I am. And because I am responsible for my feelings. I am responsible for everything that my body is going through. I am responsible for everything. I am responsible as everything, for it is all me. It is nothing else and it is no one else. So what is your body trying to tell you? Let's look at this. What is the nausea trying to tell me every time it appears? What is it trying to tell me? What is the sensation of energy saying to me? So opening up. And also looking at, this is a nervous system response mechanism. Where is the trigger in the nervous system? Vagus. Vagal nerve. Spleen, spine, stomach. And what is being held here energetically, emotionally, I feel? Grief, loss, lack, it's interesting. Is this fully for me or is this a reflection for all in the collective? Okay, so yeah, for me and for the collective. So we're going to look at the spleen and the spine. Now the stomach might, this is here for the collective too, and for me. So in the spleen and the spine, majority for the collective. But if the stomach feels aligned for you as well, then please observe that. Please witness that. But I heard majority was spleen and spine for the collective. So let us call forward and see what is here. And I do feel the vagus nerve is for everyone too. I really feel there's so much energy, energetically showing through the vagus nerve. It's a big nerve, set of nerves. Yeah, that's definitely collective too. Now, okay, that's interesting. That's right. Okay, so there is a lot of connections that we hold. That's not just individual. We are energetically connected as a collective by glamour. We are energetically connected as a collective by illusion and by Maya. So the programs run deep. Yeah, I can feel that in the spine. I can feel that in the spine. So what are the fear core programs that are operating, that are requiring witness and clearing, or at least we'll say witness, because they clear the more that you disentangle from the core programs. That's the true clearing. What is the fear core program? I'm sorry. What is the fear core program for the spine? Fear. Fear, lack, loss, servitude. Secondary, meaning you're second to someone. The feeling of unworthiness. This is a lot of the energy that's being passed through the nervous system, the spine. And I'm feeling that this passes through. The more that you choose to believe it, you store it. Yeah. The more that you choose to believe it, you store it. So it's basically like every time you have a thought and you choose to believe that that thought is a thought of concern or worry or fear or doubt or lack, as soon as you label the thought as something other than what it is, which is it's energy. A thought is just energy moving through, just like emotions. It's all energy moving through. But we choose to label it as something that's lower vibrational. Um, so now, why is it lower vibrational? Well, because we've identified it as being that way. We are anchoring into it in that way. So if it is not free, then it is holding some form of belief. And if you believe that the thought that you think is affecting you negatively, then it will. You can receive any word as a thought. But what a thought really is a form of energy. So which means once the word enters the thought, you believe something about that. You have a belief about what that word means, which means the thought becomes a form of either attack or less than. It's discounting something. So this is an opportunity for everyone to open up and realize that thoughts are really just energy moving through. They're doorways, they're opportunities. They don't hold anything. Not even the words hold anything. But that's the point of the illusion. That's the point of the illusion. Is if you believe that word, if you believe that thought, and if you believe it, you pull it in. Or I'm sorry, you pull yourself into it. You pull yourself energetically more into it. And therefore, instead of allowing it to pass through, you become emotionally attached to it. You have identified the thought as being something negative. You've identified the thought as being something positive. And so, therefore, from that space, you have created an imbalance. The thought is now something that weighs a lot, it burdens you because you believe the thought as being something that's burdensome. You don't want the thought because you think the thought is negative. You think the thought is bad when the thought was just the form of energy. The thought is a form of energy that holds the word and whatever you believe the word is. So in order for thoughts to be free, the words must also be free. They must not be polarized. They must not weigh one way or the other. So just inviting that in for everyone to review. How are you labeling thoughts? How are you labeling words? How are you identifying? And then look at why. And from that space, calling forward, I would like to look and see now the nausea is pretty much dissipated completely. second time this has happened. Interesting. So what is the core of this? Am I carrying something? Am I absorbing something? Calling up and reviewing the vagus nerve. What is being held in the vagus nerve? Ooh, what is being held in the vagus nerve? Opening the vagus nerve. Opening the vagus nerve, activating the vagus nerve. There comes that nausea again. Opening, activating. This is a major connection here. One second. Okay. What is here with the vagus nerve? Okay. What I'm feeling called to do is from this space. Opening up the etheric. Opening. 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 And receiving. Opening and receiving from the etheric. Opening. So opening, 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 opening earth star. Opening root. Opening sacral. Opening solar plexus. Opening heart. Higher heart. Opening higher heart. Opening throat. Opening third eye. Opening crown. Opening soul star. Opening sun star. Opening cosmic star. Opening universal star. Now, just from this point, I was pulled straight up and back. What is here to be seen and received? The opening of the self into spirit. Okay. Opening, receiving. Opening and receiving. Opening the cord connection to the soul. Opening the cord connection to consciousness. Opening the cord connection to monadic consciousness, requesting. So allowing in spirit. Allowing in those connections. Now that's very different Now, if you'll notice, I just went through opening, I just went through expressing that they were open, which is automatically aligning the energy bodies. So we're automatically aligning to the correct formation, if you will, energy experience, our energetic experience. So accepting this alignment, accepting the movement, accepting the receiving. And I would like to call forward, actually, I'd like to invite in all soul extensions to come in. Inviting in all soul extensions. And if you'll notice, this one is more of a discovery of what's the progression of where we are. Instead of just going through and activating like I normally do, I'm also here discovering. So that's why this one is processing differently. So calling in from the higher planes, calling down the Christed grid, calling down the Christed grid, the Buddha grid, and upon receiving, inviting in the higher planes masters, to assist in anchoring the currents through the mental, emotional, physical, etheric, and astral. Well, no, correction, through the etheric and the astral. Only the higher self can assist you through the mental, emotional, and physical, for it is yours. The astral and etheric are also planetary. They're planetary, they're cosmic, and they're universal. And of course, they're ours too. But we also have an etheric, an etheric memory bank. We have an astral memory bank. So from this space, coming into the wave of the physical, activating the wave, dematerializing from the state of the mind, dematerializing from the state of the mind, dematerializing from the beliefs, dematerializing, dematerializing, coming into the wave, dematerializing, coming into the wave, from this state, things are much different. Dematerializing. Yes, I see that. Dematerializing. Now, from this state, as we are dematerializing from the connection of the mind. And my entire experience from the nausea and the tension has completely disconnected, which means I have projected myself into that experience. So dematerializing, coming into the subatomic, dematerializing into the atomic, opening, expanding. Now experiencing the self as free, as just waves. You can actually feel the waves moving through. You can feel yourself as waves, the body as waves. Beautiful. From this state, connecting to the water of the body, connecting to the water, and from the connection of water, opening up to the earth star, opening up from the soul star, opening up opening up sun star, opening up cosmic once again, opening up universal, receiving the currents. And calling forth the activated currents of 432 hertz. The water is active. Calling forth ultraviolet currents. Ultraviolet currents coming in through the crown, in through the third eye, in through the throat, in through the heart, expanding out from the heart. Water particles, water of the body is receiving the ultraviolet light, restructuring, reorganizing, clearing and cleansing. Water molecules are reorganizing, clearing, cleansing. Calling down the platinum grid, anchoring into the water molecules of the body, anchoring into all hydrogen molecules, anchoring into all oxygen molecules, anchoring into all silicon molecules, expanding. Expanding. Once again, coming into the subatomic, coming into the particle, opening, vibrating, reconstructing. Reconstructing. Ultraviolet currents. Cleansing, opening, clearing the physical plane, clearing, cleansing the mental plane, clearing, cleansing the emotional plane. Thyroid. Ah, that's right. Thyroid was one that came up. Okay, calling, opening, activating the thyroid. Opening, activating, clearing the thyroid. Opening, 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 opening the thyroid, opening, opening, opening the thyroid, opening, 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 activating the thyroid with higher magnetic, activating higher magnetic, activating higher magnetic, activating higher electric, activating, clearing any debris from the thyroid, clearing, 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 and activating thyroid, opening, 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 activating thyroid, opening, activating. That seemed to open a lot on that masculine side. Okay, opening and activating. Opening the spine. Opening the spine, releasing, releasing, releasing. Releasing any debris from the spine, releasing, opening, 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 and releasing, opening, 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 opening the spine, releasing. Yeah, that's opening big time. Opening, opening, opening. Releasing, releasing, releasing through the crown. Releasing through the crown. And releasing through the root. Releasing. Opening the spine, releasing. Releasing any energetic debris. Anything energetically that has been blocking the flow through the spine. Pulling that up and out, pulling that up and out, pulling that up and out through the crown. Opening, 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 and clearing the systems. Clearing, clearing, clearing. Now opening up the vagus nerve. Dematerializing the nervous system. Disconnecting, deconstructing. Calling in the connection, calling in the cord of consciousness, connecting into the cord of consciousness. Opening, opening. Resetting, resetting the vagus nerve. Resetting the vagus nerve, opening the vagus nerve, resetting. Opening, 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 opening and releasing, opening, clearing, opening, clearing, opening, clearing, opening, clearing, 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 clearing the vagus nerve, clearing, 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 opening, 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 and resetting, resetting, resetting the vagus nerve, resetting. Reset. There we go. Resetting. Clearing the meridians. Clearing. Where is this pinched at? Where is this energetically pinched at? It feels like a pinch in time. Where's that? It's stuck. Stuck. Where's this pinched? releasing, deconstructing the death, the pinch of destruction, deconstructing. Releasing the collective destruction, releasing from the collective destruction, releasing, opening up, 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 opening up. Releasing from the glamour of destruction, releasing, resetting. That feels much better. Releasing from the collective destruction, releasing from the collective death, releasing, and resetting. Resetting. And calling down the violet flame, calling down the violet grid in through the crown. Requesting and receiving the violet grid through the crown, through the brain, through the nervous system, receiving. 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 And that's clearing the nervous system, clearing through the brain, clearing. And requesting to receive through the connection of the soul, the connection to the monad, requesting to receive packets of light, calling in crystalline compounds from the 5D etheric, anchoring into the brain, anchoring into the spine, anchoring into the base of the neck, anchoring into the base of the feet, anchoring into the top of the crown, opening up and activating the orbit, and receiving packets of light, calling in packets of light, calling in packets of light, calling in, bringing packets of light in, calling in from the universal, calling in from the universal, calling in through the universal, calling in through the cosmic, calling in through the solar, calling in through the soul, calling in packets of light, coming in through the nervous system, coming in through the hemispheres of the brain, receiving, receiving packets of light, resetting the nervous system, coming in, resetting the nervous system, coming into the spine, and in this process, dematerializing, 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 yeah, Dematerializing feels so good. Dematerializing, breaking down the image, dematerializing. Receiving the packets of light through the nervous system, dematerializing, resetting, 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 clearing all loops in the nervous system, clearing all loops in the nervous system, clearing all loops in the nervous system, clearing, 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 clearing and cleansing, clearing and cleansing. I feel that majorly through that masculine side. Clearing all loops through the nervous system, clearing, 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 clearing all loops, clearing all loops, clearing all loops, clearing. It's opening up a lot. Clearing all loops in the nervous system. Clearing, 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 clearing. Clearing, 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 clearing loops, clearing loops, clearing loops, clearing loops, clearing, 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 clearing. Now calling up from the Earth Star. Calling up the currents of white diamond flame. Calling up the currents of the Earth Star from the central core. Calling up through the root and calling up through the spine. Calling these currents up. Clearing masculine side. Clearing feminine side. Currents coming up through the Earth Star, clearing masculine side. Opening and clearing. Opening and clearing. Currents coming up from the Earth Star, clearing feminine side. Clearing. Expanding into the orbit of the Earth Star. I would like to call the vertical plane. All meridians on the vertical plane, calling forth into the light. Opening. Clearing. Clearing all vertical plane meridians. Calling down the platinum grid through the vertical plane meridians. That's opening and clearing a lot too. Opening and clearing through the vertical plane. Opening, clearing. Open, clearing. Platinum grid is clearing the vertical plane. Platinum grid is clearing the vertical plane. Opening, 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 clearing. Now calling down the platinum grid into the horizontal plane, clearing all horizontal meridians. Opening up the horizontal plane, opening, clearing. Clearing all horizontal meridians. Clearing. Clearing, 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 clearing. Calling in and receiving reparations to the auric field. Sealing in the grid. Sealing in the grid. And opening up the central pillar. Opening up the central pillar. And calling everything in. What is about this right side? What is going on with this right side? What is here? What is here? What is pinched on this right side? What is that cycle? What is that loop? I'm viewing. Okay, viewing the masculine. Viewing masculine. Viewing all layers of energy in connection with the masculine. And its connection to the gut. Calling this into the light. And showering the masculine with golden light. Showering the masculine with golden light. Showering the masculine with golden light. Opening up the masculine, showering it with golden light. Gratitude, with appreciation, with love, with reverence. And I'm not speaking of the collective masculine, I'm speaking of your masculine, our masculine energy. It's not about anyone else, it's about you. Showering the masculine with golden light. And turning into the masculine with the gratitude and appreciation for the service. Thank you. Accepting. Allowing. Opening. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you. And opening up the feminine, showering the feminine with golden light. Thank you. With appreciation, with reverence, with gratitude. Thank you. Showering the feminine with golden light. Showering the feminine with golden light. Appreciation, Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're feminine. You're masculine. These are your energies. So you open up these lines, opening up the masculine. Opening up the feminine. Opening. Opening masculine. Opening feminine. Opening, opening, opening. Activating. Activating masculine, activating, activating, activating feminine, activating, activating. Activating. That feels really good. Activating. And receiving the activation of masculine, feminine. Beautifully received. Receiving, 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 activated masculine, receiving, 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 activated feminine, receiving, receiving, receiving these activated meridians, receiving, and activating the governor vessels of the main meridians, opening these governor vessels up, opening the governor vessels, spleen, stomach, kidneys, liver, spleen, liver, gallbladder, stomach, opening up the governor vessels, clearing these main organs, clearing these main meridians, calling down the platinum grid into the governor vessels and into the meridians, governing the body. Calling down platinum light, calling down violet light to clear the governor vessels. Clearing, realigning. I'm feeling some of these meridians were out of whack. There we go. Pulling, realigning the governor vessels, realigning. Realigning governor vessels, aligning governor vessels, aligning meridians. Aligning main meridians, aligning all main meridians of the body. Aligning all meridians of the body. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff out of whack there. Aligning all meridians of the body. See, our mind can pull us into a state of imbalance. Our bioresonance, our biofield operates naturally. And then we have higher resonance that we rise into once we are in a state of active awareness, active consciousness. We rise into a higher governance. So calling in and receiving the higher alignment of our governing vessels and the higher alignment of our meridians. Receiving higher alignment. Receiving higher alignment. Toning, tuning, aligning. Now this pulled straight up. Aligning, activating. Man, I can see just with that pulling upwards, I can feel how compressed. Receiving, 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 higher alignment. Receiving. Receiving alignment vertically, receiving alignment horizontally. Receiving. Become so compressed in on ourselves. Receiving higher. Opening, 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 and releasing the hold of the lower mind. All is happening through consciousness. Releasing the hold of the lower mind. All is happening through the higher mind and higher consciousness. Aligning. Aligning into the proper resonance, aligning into the proper harmonics, aligning, aligning, aligning into the proper magnetic, aligning into higher magnetic, coming into higher magnetic, activating higher magnetic, activating higher magnetic, activating, coming into higher electric, activating higher electric. And it's probably gonna, for me, I'm physically moving. I'm being pulled along the higher magnetic lines and the higher electric lines coming into resonance. And requesting that ultraviolet light, calling in ultraviolet light to clear any of the planes of resonance, clearing, clearing any and all debris on these planes of resonance, clearing, and aligning harmonically, aligning, calling in crystalline compounds from the 5D etheric, coming in and anchoring and opening us up to the orbit, opening us up to the resonance of the field, attuning the meridians, attuning the governor vessels, attuning. Attuning the electrical currents, attuning the magnetic currents. Balancing the electrical impulses. Balancing electrical impulses. Resetting electrical impulses, activating the orbit, activating the 5D crystalline compounds, activating the tone, activating the tone, receiving the tone through all meridians. Receiving the tone through all governor vessels. Receiving the tone through the yin. Receiving the tone through the yang. Receiving the tone through the physical plane. Receiving the tone through the emotional plane. Receiving the tone through the emotional plane. Receiving the tone through the mental plane. Receiving the tone now this is a tone of the 5D etheric. Now, in this state, we are just simply receiving a vibrational tone. For us to fully come into the 5D, we ascend. We ascend out of the physical material, at least this density of physical material. So you can feel how much lighter that tone is through the physical plane, the emotional plane, and the mental plane. As these are all planes, they're all energetic planes. Feeling fully harmonized, unified, balanced. And activating the 5D tone through chakras, through the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart. Where it truly begins is in the heart, but we're going to bring those in through the lower just to give them an opportunity to really open and expand. Once you begin to ascend, those lowers become unified anyways. Receiving the tone through the heart, receiving the tone through the higher heart. Receiving the tone through the throat. Receiving the tone through the third eye. And receiving the tone through the crown, pulling up through the crown. Opening through the crown. Expanding. Expanding. Expanding, receiving light packets. Expanding. Receiving light packets through the hemispheres of the brain. Receiving light packets through the spine. Expanding. Receiving the tone through the water of the body. The water of the body, harmonically toning the 5D etheric. Just adding some extra vibration in there. Mwah. Receiving the tone, receiving the light. And just really allowing at this point, allowing the incoming, allowing everything to come in and be received. Remember, you are a vessel, and in this space, we are opening the vessel up. We are receiving. Because in this space, we are fully in the state of presence and unification within. When we are present within, we are not physically connected. We are not looking to the physical. We are not trying to connect with our physical eyes. We are fully unified internally. We have nothing in the external that is needed or necessary. Connecting internally to the physical plane, not externally to the projected plane. Because remember, everything is an illusion until it is not, which means wherever you think you are, whatever you think you need, you will focus on. Allowing everything to be internally realized, internally recognized, internally present. And now we calling forth the gallbladder, the pancreas, thyroid, spleen, and stomach. And calling for the clearing of these organs, clearing the stomach, clearing the main meridian of the stomach, clearing the stomach on the physical plane, clearing the stomach on the emotional plane, clearing the stomach on the emotional plane, clearing the stomach on the mental plane, clearing, clearing, clearing. Clearing the spleen on the physical plane, clearing. Clearing the spleen on the emotional plane, clearing. Clearing, 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 clearing the spleen on the mental plane, clearing, clearing. That's really coming up through the throat and the sinuses, clearing. Clearing the gallbladder on the physical plane, clearing. Clearing the gallbladder on the emotional plane, clearing. Clearing, 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 clearing physical, clearing emotional, clearing. Clearing the gallbladder on the mental plane, clearing. Clearing. Clearing, clearing. Clearing, clearing, clearing. Okay. Clearing the pancreas on the physical plane. Clearing. 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 Clearing, clearing, clearing. Clearing the pancreas on the emotional plane. Clearing. Clearing. Clearing the pancreas on the mental plane. Clearing. 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 And clearing the thyroid on the physical plane. Clearing. Clearing, clearing, clearing. Clearing. Clearing the thyroid on the emotional plane. Clearing. 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 Clearing the thyroid on the mental plane. Clearing. 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 And activating stomach with magnetic currents, activating spleen with magnetic currents, activating pancreas with magnetic currents, activating gallbladder with magnetic currents, activating thyroid with magnetic currents, activating, opening through all planes. Nervous system, clearing the nervous system on the physical plane, clearing the nervous system on the emotional plane, clearing the nervous system on the mental plane, clearing, and activating nervous system with magnetic currents. Higher magnetic, higher magnetic. Wonderful. Now, if you'll notice, we've been going through and moving through doing all of this, the meridians, the organs, the nervous system. Our existence on this plane is here for us to master. We are here as humans. We are here to understand our existence as humans, the totality of our existence on all planes. The running into the cosmic understanding does not fulfill the mastery on the physical plane. And we can only inherit, truly inherit, our cosmic ancestry when we are open in the understanding of the true reality of the human. Running into the beliefs of the mind doesn't connect you to the true cosmic. So accepting and receiving. And let's dematerialize one more time. Dematerializing. And as a vessel of source, as a vessel of the soul, as a vessel of spirit, as a vessel of the monad, and as a vessel of source, we are open to receiving the light. We are open to receiving unified states of consciousness. We are open to receiving, for we are a vessel that is open, a vessel that is receiving. Allowing yourself to be that open vessel receiving receiving, receiving the connection of the soul, receiving the connection of spirit, receiving the connection of the monad, and receiving the connection of source. Allowing all energy bodies to be recognizing these vibrations and tones, unified in this moment. And all has been received and all experienced, so thank you. That actually ended up quite a long activation, a lot longer than I had expected. But I'm very grateful for everything was able to be moved through. Receiving one final wave through the Earth Star. Receiving one final clearing wave through the Earth Star. Receiving one final clearing wave through the Soul Star, Sun Star, Solar Star. And just receiving the waves. Cosmic Star, and Universal Star, receiving the waves. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, closing Universal Star. Closing Cosmic Star. Closing Sun Star. Closing Soul Star. And closing Earth Star. And all chakras are active. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm definitely feeling much better. I do feel that what's taking place through the body, I can tell you right now, when I dematerialize, I feel wonderful. I can feel how the mind puts my image back together in a state of material functionality in a way that isn't fully complete. I can feel that. So when I dematerialize, I can feel where the nausea dissipates. I can feel where the nervous system pinching dissipates. So this is definitely a mental mental image projection, experiencing that projection. So clearing that would be clearing and accepting that I have learned and I have accepted the lesson, and I have accepted and learned from the experience. So I no longer choose to manifest the experience. I no longer choose to manifest the experience. So rematerializing in a space that is free. So calling all particles in, calling all particles into materialization, calling all particles into harmony, calling all particles into the heart and higher. Calling all particles of self into the heart and higher on the physical plane. Being led by higher mind. Coming into rematerialization. Dictated by the higher mind, dictated by consciousness, coming into rematerialization. Rematerializing on a plane of harmony. Now that I felt. Yep, rematerializing. I felt that. Rematerializing through the heart. Rematerializing through the heart. All is pulled through the heart into the material plane. The balance of the emotional body is pure, is harmonized. Balance of the mental body is just energy, is pure and harmonized. Balance of the physical body as energy, as waves, is pure and harmonized. No splitting through the lower mind. Rematerializing through the heart. Everything is rematerializing through the heart. That's felt. Now I could feel I was going through the process of materializing lower than the heart. When I dropped into the hormonal control last month, I never fully came back out. Rematerializing through the heart. Yeah, I can definitely. That's amazing. I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the group, Becca. I know I've got a lot of my group members here right now, so I'm really looking forward to hearing from you all. Okay, yeah, I felt that. I felt that coming through the heart, disconnecting from the lower, coming into the higher, and rematerializing into the higher. Calling all into the heart, calling all into the heart. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for receiving. Thank you all for being present through this with me and allowing recovery as I move through it as well. And I do hope that this serves and assists as always. For anyone that moves through any state of discomfort, or if you're feeling discomfort or anything in any way, just remember that it's, our body is speaking to us because our mind we're materializing in a lower vibration, and that doesn't mean anything bad. Lower vibration just means heavier, which means there's parts of us that are separate and they're carrying a heavier tone. So that's where it feels pinched. Like I could actually feel like the rest of my being over here was light, but there was a part of me that was pinched in time, and it's been pinched and it's been pulling me there. And I accept and acknowledge that pinch in time. And I release it. I release all pinches, all loops. I release and rematerialize. I felt it stepping back in, so thank you. I release and rematerialize. So I am going to go finish moving through this process. I thank you all for receiving. I thank you all for joining me in this. And for those of you that are in my group space, I very much look forward to hearing from each of you. I look forward to hearing your experiences. And for anyone that is receiving this on the replay, if you would like to drop your experience into the chat or into the comments, I always love hearing it. I thank you all for receiving this. And just remember that your experience here on this in this incarnation is one that's meant to be an intentional experience. If it's not intentional, that it's only serving the program. And intentional, when everyone hears words, they have certain beliefs of what those words mean. This is once again what I was speaking about from the mental body, how we end up getting lost in the glamour and illusion because we have certain beliefs of words. And because we believe a certain way about certain words, we get caught up in the illusion of it. And we remain stuck there because we believe this means something. And we believe it so dearly. And in order for thoughts to be free, we must not attach anything to them. In order for words to be free, we must not attach anything to them. Our beliefs are where we manifest. Oh, there's so much opening. What we believe is where we manifest. If we believe this to be true, then we manifest there. Okay. Everything else in its purest form is just energy. A belief is taking what I think the word means, how I feel about the word, and creating a reality around it. And therefore, I meet myself in that reality of existence. But it's an illusion because it's what we believe. Now, it's an illusion because it's veiled. When I believe something, it's my belief, and only I can see the belief. Only I can experience the belief. Only I know the belief. And so I can meet other people in their version of that same belief. We can meet on the same parallel reality, or we can meet from a space of the heart. And the space of the heart doesn't believe, it just simply is. And this is where we build that bridge from the lower to the higher, because we're no longer, I know many people think they're in the heart, but they're still operating from belief. They believe in something. They believe in someone. They believe in this existence of certain things. And you're actually manifesting yourself in a lower chakra from what you believe. And you'll meet people on that same line of time that believe like you do, and you will come together. But it's actually lower character based because it's based in belief. The need to belong, the need to believe, the need, and everyone becomes consumed by need. So energetically, you go there, you go into the lower energy centers, and you will manifest. And not only that, remember, if you're on your phone a lot, now I'm not shifting the blame onto the phone, it's not the phone's fault. Everything should be used with intention, including those that emit microwave waves or radio waves. So we're always receiving these different radio waves, and these different radio waves are a form of control. Now, it's also what keeps people very, very consumed in the belief. When you get online and you get on social media and you see something that where someone believes like you do, then what do? You invest yourself there energetically, and you're on your phone and you're consumed. And energetically, vibrationally, your core bioresonance is being disrupted even more now, or when you talk on the phone, even more so. So the phone is a beautiful tool to use, like right now for this live, because I am opening up the waves of experience where I'm not just being consumed by a set of beliefs. Okay, what I'm even expressing here, it's not just what I believe, it's what is. We know radio waves exist. We know microwaves exist. We know the phone exists. That has nothing to do with a belief. So what I'm expressing here is what is, and how what is operates on a vibrational level. And so it just tends to disrupt, or no, it does disrupt our bioresonance. So we are magnetic and electric. We're always vibrating at a very specific frequency, but that frequency becomes disrupted by the beliefs of the thoughts, by the beliefs of the feeling, by the beliefs of what we see of ourselves, and the beliefs of what we see of others. You couple that with the radio waves that support your belief, then guess what happens? you vibrate more into illusion and away from the reality, the true reality. You become consumed with data, which is disrupting your field. So the data that you receive is wholly determined on where you are. The data that we receive on a daily basis, we feed into our physical eyes. This is why for my group, when they drop in, I've invited them to express with eyes closed, to not be concerned with what's going to be said or who's saying, just receive. Because the way that you receive is usually when your eyes are open and you're doing other things and you're busy doing other things and then you're speaking, you're going to follow your thoughts, but you're following your thoughts from a space of what you believe that thought is. So my invitation as I close this out is to invite everyone to begin shifting the way that they approach their own existence. Instead of becoming consumed by the beliefs and manifesting yourself in a parallel existence where you believe and others believe, and you're so consumed with belief that you're not reviewing, you're not internally mastering, you're just running away. That's what's happening. You're running away. You're running away into beliefs and you're trying to escape the reality. And the true reality is internal. So thank you all for receiving. Thank you all for, as always, going through this journey of self-discovery with me. And again, I really thought this was only going to be an hour, but I'm grateful for the graciousness of the time and the experience through time that has been offered here. So thank you all for my group space. I look forward to catching up with you in just a little bit. And until next time, everyone, Adonai.